Joining us now with more insight into what we can expect from Team Doge. He's the Director of Research over at the Government Accountability Institute and the author of the great book, 𝐸𝑛𝑡𝑟𝑜𝑙𝑖𝑔𝑎𝑟𝑐ℎ𝑠, our pal, Seamus Bruner, back on the program. Seamus, so nice to see you again. So what say you, sir? Will Elon and Vivek actually be able to cut people's spending, fire some of these people's butts that don't do? I mean, we have so many redundancies. There's so many bloated budgets. There's so many staff members and a committee for this committee and a subcommittee for that. You could probably cut 60, 70% of DC and it wouldn't affect any American.
Yeah, Dan, you're absolutely right. When I ask people, how many agencies do you think there are in the federal government? Most people, I mean, they first of all have no clue, but they say, I don't know, maybe 100? Oh. No, it is up. The real answer is nobody knows, but it is somewhere between 400 and 600 agencies in the federal government. It has grown out of control. And whether or not Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy can do it, I believe they can. Remember, they said Elon Musk, when he took over Twitter, he was going to crash the company. He was going to destroy it. He had mass layoffs. The platform's never been better.
Right.
It's never been more engagement, and it's never been more profitable.
Right.
So slashing employees is a great way to increase efficiency. And then as far as Vivek Ramaswamy, he recently had a tweet that was brilliant. It said, this is not just a policy of Donald Trump's. This is a mandate.
Thank you.
Increasing government efficiency is a mandate according to the Supreme Court of the United States, because recently they overturned what was called the Chevron doctrine.
Yep.
And so for 40 years, the federal government had been amassing powers in granting itself privileges and creating new bureaus and positions. The Supreme Court just last year overturned that, and that is a new day. Or just this year, but earlier, overturned it. It's
right.
A new day. It's time to cut back on the rulemaking process, cut back on all the rules. You've got to do that first, then you can slash the people.
Nice. Well, I mean, you were talking about it. Elon did, if I recall, it was almost 80% of the staff. And then he's making more profit. I mean, if you cut 80% of the federal government, I expect you could give a massive tax break to every single American out there. Let's be real. I understand there'll be thousands of unemployed people, but there'll also be thousands of new jobs, because as Americans have to pay less taxes, then they will do what? Especially if they own a small or medium business. They'll expand, they'll invest, they'll give raises. So yes, there will be a few thousand layoffs at good old Uncle Sam's front door, but that's going to make the private sector boom, I think. So it's amazing. I just hope, I know they're going to get met with every obstacle and everything thrown at them, Seamus, and I just don't know how they'll get it done in that swamp unless they have the full support of all the Republicans in the House and the Senate. It can't just be Trump.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Joni Ernst just came out with a crazy report. I mean, I was in D.C. recently, and it is kind of a ghost town. It's really bizarre how empty the place is. There's over 1 million square feet of commercial real estate vacant since the pandemic, because all of these federal workers, they're working from their, from a mountain house somewhere. They're all working they're all working from outside of D.C. And when they're out of sight, they're sort of out of mind. So what are they even doing anyway? I mean, you've got, 30% now who are working fully remote from either the North Carolina mountains or wherever they are. It's crazy how many federal bureaucrats are not working in D.C. right now.
And didn't
they
Elon
ought to just get a job in their hometowns.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Didn't Elon say, when we get in, you're going to come back to D.C. and work, or you're not going to have a job, pretty much?
Yeah, that's
30%,
exactly right.
There's 30%. Bye, gone. All right, let's switch gears, because I know you have an opinion about what happened earlier this week. And that would be the Joe Biden pardon. And I'm not talking about those turkeys. Well, kind of. I'm talking about a crackhead turkey. That guy. Look, I don't give a crap about the son. I'm tired of hearing the left go, what do you care? He's not the president. I don't care about the son. I care about the dad who used his position of power as a senator and vice president to make the entire family rich while selling the country down the river to these energy companies and foreign nations. That's what I care about. And so when you pardon your son for 10 frickin' years, you're pretty much pardoning yourself and your whole family so your asses don't end up in jail.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Dan. This was not about Hunter. It wasn't about the gun charges, which conveniently were the most aggressively pursued charges. they never led to Joe. It wasn't about that. The tax charges, on the other hand, those led directly to Joe. Hunter was not paying taxes on the Ukraine money and the China money. And so actually the federal prosecutors, Biden DOJ prosecutors, did say that this is part of a foreign influence operation. An influence operation, influencing who? Well, Joe, of course. So you're exactly right. That's the perfect way to frame it. Pardoning Hunter is actually pardoning Joe. It's an unprecedented situation. I mean, Clinton pardoned his brother and family members, but he never pardoned himself. So this is a really odd time to see this happen. And I just think that Joe Biden ought to pardon Donald Trump from those crock of charges that he got.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Since you're Unity Joe, you told us for 4 years, which we all know was a big crock of BS, because all you did was divide and talk crap on MAGA people and Trump people. So how about before you leave and before the dementia sets fully in, can we tell Jill to tell you to pardon Trump? Because obviously you won't do it unless Jill tells you. Hey, question for you, Seamus, when it comes to this pardon. It's a 10-year blanket pardon from January of 14 through December of 24. So the last 10 years, no problem. Can you remind my viewers, when did he get appointed to the board of Burisma?
Well, that was right inside the pardon time frame. That's why it's so weird that it stretches back 10 years. So, of course, the Ukraine situation totally leads to Joe. Joe on camera admits you're not getting the $1 billion unless you fire the prosecutor investigating my son's benefactors. But actually in that time frame too is when the China starts. I mean, it was in December of 2013 that they flew on Air Force Two, Hunter and Joe, to China.
Great point.
No crimes would have occurred right then in December, but January 2014 is when all the China deals started kicking off. So obviously this time frame is all about pardoning the foreign influence cash, the FARA money. I would call bribery in the case of Ukraine, because Joe admitted it was a quid pro quo. And so, yeah, it's pardoning himself. And the time frame is very suspicious, especially that it reaches up till December. Why is it going right up until right now? I mean, what has Hunter been up to? So well, we have some questions that the Bidens need to answer, and we may not get them. But we're going to keep investigating. What has Hunter been doing this past year? Does he have anything to do? Was he taking
blowing
any
underage girls
payments?
No, it's for the blow and the underage
but
girls.
Also,
you think he quit that stuff?
Joe Biden.
Come on.
No, but also Joe Biden dropped out of the race in July. That's a mighty valuable thing. And Kamala's $1 billion has totally dried up. Where did it all go? And so what might have gone on there? We're going to keep investigating.
You're talking about a backdoor payout to get him to step down. Oh, I didn't say it. Seamus Bruner, check out the book, Control-Oligarchs. As always, thanks for your insight, brother. Appreciate you.